What up, guys? Welcome to my Gotham Season 2 review. I won't really spoil what I think about it yet, so let's just get into the character breakdowns and the review itself. First of all, I wanted to talk about Gordon, and I really am not the biggest fan of Gordon because I think his whole story arc with, going to prison was really good. But I feel like I'm not the biggest fan of this character because he's really one-dimensional and he's just not that much of an interesting character in my opinion. Just like in season 1, I prefer Gordon, like how his take was in the Dark Knight trilogy, but that's just me. I don't really like this version of Gordon, especially when he just like kills people all the time. I mean, I get if he kills, if it's necessary to kill, he does kill like he does in the comics, but this Gordon kills all the time, which just bugs me a little. Same with Bruce Wayne. I thought this was probably my least favorite Bruce season, like how, in terms of how they took the character of Bruce, this was probably my least favorite season of it, because I didn't really like him this season. I thought he was just kind of boring, just like Gordon. Same with Bullock. He was just an okay character. I loved him in season 1, but again, this season he was just okay. I feel like Bullock is a character that gets worse throughout the seasons. Season 1 was by far the best of Bullock, and Season 2 is not really his best, and he keeps getting worse throughout the seasons, in my opinion, which is sad, because I thought he was a great character in Season 1. Alfred, again, is a character that I love in this show, but there's just one thing I don't love about him, and that is he can be a little too violent at times, like when he punched Selina Kyle in the face. I feel like that's not Alfred. But Sean Pertwee is a great actor at playing Alfred, in my opinion. It's just, he can be a little too violent, which is not comic book accurate. Speaking of Selina, again, I just feel like all of the main heroes, or I don't know if you can really call her a hero, but all the main good guys, I'm going to call her a good guy, all the main good guys this season were just kind of boring and one-dimensional, including Selina, but I think the villains were so much more interesting than the heroes this season, especially Penguin with his whole being, the king of Gotham. I think this is definitely Penguin's season where he shines. So props to Penguin because he is absolutely great in this season. And Robin Lord Taylor is, when he was first cast, I was just thinking, no. But now he's amazing. I feel like he's better at playing this little weak guy than he is playing a mob boss. But I think he's still a great actor. My least favorite character in this season, easily Leslie Tompkins, or Lee, whatever you want to call her. Lee was she was so annoying this season. She's like, almost like Felicity on level of annoying. I don't get what it was about her, like, I just don't get it. She just bugged me, and she was just kind of just the way she was, just annoyed me, and I really don't like this character. I think giving her such a huge role is a stupid idea. Having her be a love interest for Gordon is a stupid idea. Just have her now, here and then, appear as a therapist for Bruce and nothing else, because I don't know why she had to get involved with Gordon and stuff like that. Speaking of her and Gordon, I mean, Gotham is so bad at doing romance stories. I don't know, I don't think you guys know how much I love romance stories, but it's just the way Gotham portrays romance as a whole is just terrible, especially Lee and Gordon. It just feels like Gordon doesn't care about Lee, and when she's like, hey, and she kisses him, and he's like, no, I don't have time, and he just walks away. I feel like Gordon's just being an idiot all the time this season. The same with Lee. She's just like, I was just thinking, watching Lee, I kind of felt bad for her. I was just thinking, but just break up with him already. He doesn't care about you. Gordon didn't care one bit about Lee, and it really made Gordon an unlikable character. As I said before, in this season, the villains are so much better than the heroes or the good guys, and I think Edward Nygma is fantastic, and the actor who plays him is fantastic. Corey Michael Smith, he is great, and I think how this journey this season, how it kind of foreshadowed him becoming the Riddler, I thought was great. But I do feel like Corey Michael Smith is better at playing Edward Nygma than he is at playing the Riddler, because I didn't really think he was that good of a fit for the Riddler, but I thought he was absolutely great as just playing Edward Nygma and this little dummy who just gets bullied by everyone. I just think he, just like Robin Lord Taylor, he is better when he's just this small. When they're both better when they're just these small guys that get picked on a lot, and I think both of them are great. And when Nygma murdered Kringle by accident, that is the most. I'm 100% honest when I say that is the most brutal thing I've ever seen. Like, he held her up to the door, choking her, saying, "You're not gonna leave," and then he freaking killed her. That is the most brutal thing I've ever seen, and it was amazing. Going back to Oswald for a minute, his mother's death scene was great, and it was beautifully done. It was probably the saddest moment so far on the show. His mother's death. I thought it was fantastically done. Yeah, great scene. And Oswald going to prison and getting involved with Theo Gallivan was great. And just Robin Lord Taylor really needs praise, and because how his whole story arc this season was dealing with his mother's death, which was great. Everything about it was honestly fantastic, and I felt I was kind of annoyed by one thing, and that was we had two deaths of female recurring characters episodes in a row. I think episode 6, the end of it was Kristen Kringle's death, and then the start of the very next episode was where Oswald's mother died. That kind of just bugged me that it was two female characters that died in 2 episodes in a row. I thought that was pretty kind of stupid. They could have waited a bit with Kringle's death, in my opinion, or waited with any of those deaths. I didn't really care. And then we get to the big guy himself, Theo Gallivan, who I guess you could say was the main villain for the first half of the season. And he was great, honestly. As I said so many times in this review, the villains in this season were so much better than the good guys, because Theo Gallivan was an amazing villain, one of the best we've ever had on the show. Like, he's up there with Oswald and Nygma and Jerome Valeska, who we'll talk about in a minute. But the whole storyline with him and his maniacs and Tabitha and Barbara and the whole team was just absolutely great. And I thought Theo Gallivan was an amazing character, and he was even better as Azrael. But it was just sad that he got killed off a little bit early. Barbara in this season was so much better than she was in season 1. This season kind of helped me accept that Barbara would not be the main love interest for Gordon. It was kind of hard to accept in season 1 because, well, she is in the comics the main love interest for Gordon, but this season made me finally accept that she wasn't the main love interest for Gordon and just appreciate her as a character. And Tabitha Gallivan was great. Again, there were so many good villains this season, and she was just so good, great, and so brutal, and I loved her relationship with Barbara, Babs and Tabs for life. And her relationship with Butch was pretty cool, I guess. I thought the guy's a great actor, the guy who plays Butch, and Butch is a great character. It's just really fun to say his name, Butch. Try saying it. Well, he was a really great actor and a great character this season. And then we get to the big guy himself, Jerome Valeska. Wow, this guy, right, is absolutely amazing. I think this guy is just as good as Heath Ledger's Joker. This guy is fully incredible and is one of the best actors I have ever seen, honestly. This guy is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic, and this guy really needs to play the Joker in a movie, and his whole, he's a mix of every single movie Joker into one, with the craziness of, he just has everything, except if this guy is not playing the Joker, I'm gonna be mad, because he has everything. He just needs the green hair, the purple suit, the white skin, the red lips, and he is what I consider to be the Joker, because this guy is such, Cameron Monaghan is such a good actor, and this guy's incredible, honestly. He is so good. And then we get to who I guess is the main villain of the season, Hugo Strange, played by B.D. Wong, who is fantastic. Probably the best main villain, if you could say he is the main villain of this season on the show. He is absolutely amazing. And the actor is perfect for the role. He was born for this role to play Hugo Strange, and is extremely, extremely good at doing so. He is fantastic, and I loved his character. Now a villain that I thought, I've praised the villains a lot. I've said a lot of good things about the villains and a lot of bad things about the good guys. But a villain that I thought was not so great was Mr. Freeze. He was just kind of meh. He was not. He was a bad interpretation of the character, and he's just not good. He doesn't look like in the comics. He doesn't feel like in the comics. He just feels like a henchman, which it's even worse in season 3. But I'll get to that later when I do my review for it. He's just kind of a bad character. He does get better in season 4 though, but this season he's just kind of. I can't really stand him in this season. He does get better later on, though. Well, that was my review for Gotham Season 2. I thought it was a huge, huge improvement over Season 1, except for the good guys. But the villains were definitely a huge improvement, especially Nigma, and also Jerome. I mean, if he could even improve, when you watch him in Season 1, you're like thinking, wow, can this guy get any better? But Season 2 proved that he can be better. And Season 2 proved that Gotham is a good show, honestly. Watch Gotham. People talk crap about this show. It is not a bad show. Just please give it a chance. It has amazing villains, some okay good guys, amazing storytelling. The tone is great. All of the actors are great, especially like just, it looks like a movie. It's amazing cinematography, amazing acting. Everything is good except for some like bad characters. Bad characters is the only problem I really have with this season.
My face above the water, my feet can't touch the ground, and it feels like I can see the sands on the horizon every time you are not around. I'm slowly drifting away, wave after wave, wave after wave.